Donald Trump's incoming press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, says that the thing that makes Trump different than everybody else is authenticity and that he tells the truth. I know. At the top of the show, at the beginning of the show, we talked about how Joe Rogan bafflingly said, because he cares about truth and lies, he endorsed Trump. It's so crazy. What? Okay. Karoline Leavitt, who is going to be Donald Trump's press secretary, unless she has a problem getting confirmed, but I don't anticipate that. She says Trump's truth-telling is what really distinguishes him. You have to wonder, did she get hit on the head? Is she okay? Because this statement defies logic, evidence, and basic common sense. Listen.
And what President Trump has that no other candidate who has ever run for office in modern history has is authenticity. And he tells the truth. And you might not like the truth all the time, but he tells it. And when he says he's going to do something, he delivers on that promise.
Trump delivered on almost no promises during his first term and did a whole bunch of stuff he never said he was going to do. Solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in one term. Didn't do it. Build a wall with Mexico that Mexico would pay for. Didn't do it. Solve trade by tariffing China. He did some tariffs. It certainly didn't solve trade. I could go on. Replace Obamacare with something big and beautiful that will be good for anybody. The magical thinking that we see from these people is truly the purest form of it. This is the same phenomenon we see time and again in Donald Trump's orbit. People say these provably untrue, fabricated, unhinged things. We don't know if they believe them or because it's the price of admission. We've talked about this before. When a bunch of Trump supporters, 57% of Republicans after the 2020 election were saying, I do believe Trump really won and that it was stolen. And we wondered, do they really believe that or do they see that as the price of admission? Something you just have to say to show, to signal, I'm part of your group. Include me as part of your group. I don't know. But what we've learned is that if enough people repeat the mantra or the slogan enough, and everybody bows to the lies, and then you get to stay in the club, it sort of becomes irrelevant whether they really believe it. As we've said before, I don't think Trump is particularly anti-gay personally, but it doesn't really matter. The question is, how will he govern? I still don't believe that Donald Trump is personally against abortion, as he claimed to be once he became a 68-year-old man. He said, actually, I'm against it. It doesn't matter, though. Even if he's pro-choice, he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. And so then we get to this whole thing about Trump and authenticity and truth and lying. Donald Trump has been fact-checked as lying over 30,000 times just during his presidency, whether it's the Mexico wall claim, insisting he won multiple elections that he lost. He says he won the popular vote in 2016. He didn't. He says he won the election overall in 2020. He didn't. The idea of calling Trump authentic or a truth teller, it's beyond laughable. It's now a question of what is happening to the brains of these people. And that's kind of the deeper problem. When Trump's inner circle starts to parrot the talking points, it's not really about convincing us, right? I don't think any of you hear and see Karoline Leavitt say Trump's got truth and authenticity as his incredible characteristics. You're not going to be convinced. I'm not going to be convinced, right? People in reality won't be convinced. It's actually about creating a parallel reality. And this is a critical feature to understand. Facts are negotiable. Loyalty means repeating the lie louder than the next person. It's a performance, it's a loyalty test, and it's really a disturbing insight into how propaganda works in the Trump era. They're not going to convince us, but they need to build people, but they need to build a coalition of people who are just as convinced about a lie as we are about the facts. If Trump's press secretary truly believed that Trump is a beacon of authenticity and truth, you would expect her to provide some examples of the authenticity and of the truth-telling. But they don't because they can't, because there are none. And instead, they rely on these vague platitudes. They expect the audience to fill in the blanks with their fantasies. And where that breaks down is when Luke Beasley goes to the Trump rally and they go, Trump tells the truth all the time. And Luke says, oh, okay, tell me about a policy he promised that he did. And then they go, oh, I don't know. This interview is over. You're part of the liberal media. It's cultish behavior. And it's not just about Karoline Leavitt's statement. It's about really being prepared for the broader erosion of truth in our politics that's going to continue. And when you have a press secretary so blatantly willing to continue constructing the parallel narrative, it just chips away at the understanding of reality of so many people. And that's the point. When people don't know what's true anymore, or they're willing to repeat something they suspect is a lie endlessly, they are easier to manipulate, because once they're pot committed, to use a poker term, it's hard for them to get out. That's what I expect to see. We are seeing more trouble in the forthcoming Trump cabinet. Trump's pick for DEA administrator has withdrawn from consideration. A court has ruled that Idaho can partially enforce its abortion trafficking law. Horrible. Exactly what we feared. And finally, a Democrat has joined the Elon and Vivek Doge caucus. We will talk about all of those stories and more on the bonus show. We are at 3,807 pre-orders for my book, The Echo Machine. Free stuff is available when you pre-order. So pre-order the book anywhere. You can even call local bookstores. They'll order it for you. Submit your receipt at davidpakman.com/free book stuff. I'm going to say it once more, okay? People who are saying the website's not working, you're typing in the wrong address. It's davidpakman.com/free book stuff. Submit your receipt. You'll get the free stuff. I will see you on the bonus show. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, The Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.